The Book of Proverbs, verse 8 and 9. Whoever plots evil will be known as a schemer. Verse 9. The schemes of folly are sin, and people detest a mocker. So this is a Christian righteous gamer. Okay, so today I'll just talk a little bit about this. I don't know how long I'll make this, but about the there's a new Borderlands movie coming out. Okay, so I wouldn't say there's really like any sort of major controversy about it, but there is like a small amount of some friction and conflict about it that's come out. I'll just talk about it a little bit. I mean, I have a kind of a little bit of a spin to it that I'll talk about that too. Okay, so kind of what like some of the controversy is, and though I really don't view it as controversy, is that they're making this movie and they kind of just, I feel like it's maybe just bad, it's just like bad, what do you call it, acting, or not bad cast rolling, right? They chose really bad bad casting, right? And that's what people are mad about. You got I can't speak correctly. Kate Blanchett, and you got Jamie Lee Curtis. And to be honest, they're kind of just in the least non-offensive way, they kind of just look like they're old in a lot of ways. I mean, and nothing against them personally, right? I mean, in a lot of ways, they're beautiful women, and even when they're older, they're still, to be honest, fairly attractive people. Kind of like inside and out. Now, maybe they have some bad personalities at times, but we all do at the end of the day. And this is mostly what a lot of the controversy is. You got like what's she called, like Firehawk, and you got the doctor lady, and okay. So also I'll say that I played all the Borderlands games. I haven't played the new Telltale game. Honestly, I mean, I own it. I haven't even booted it up, to be honest. I mean, I know some people might view that as offensive, but at some point I probably should play it. I might just play it just so I can say I finished it. I have like all the walkthroughs on my channel too. You can go check them out if you want. I can't say like the prettiest looking things ever, but I got the whole walkthroughs out there. They're kind of old, and like the characters in the stories, like you got like Firehawk is like, she's, I mean, if you're being objective, she's really freaking hot, right? And you got like the doctor lady. I mean, I can kind of understand the doctor lady being a little bit older. Kate Blanchett, I got nothing against these people, right? It's just they don't really fit the role that a lot of people would view them as, and it's kind of controversial in some sense that they made this movie. And like and like movies like these, they're coming out. They haven't done really like a very good job with like game style movies, like movies from video games. And let's see. I'm not sure if I can get other pictures here. And like like nothing against her or anything, right? And she just doesn't really like view, the way I see like these characters, right? It doesn't seem like it's a very good role fitting. Like it's not like sometimes you gotta live in some kind of reality, right? That it just doesn't really always look or feel right. So that's like a lot of the controversies come from. You got like Firehawk. Let's see, you got like who's her name, like Melanie Mack, for instance. I think she talked about this. I mean, I think this came out like a couple months ago at this point. It's a little bit older, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit. And to be honest, I actually can really see this. I think what's her name, Dr. Patricia's Tanis, I think is her name. I can actually see the character being older. I mean, I guess she kind of comes off a little bit younger in the video games, but I mean, you could play a doctor character like a female doctor character is probably more intelligent. She's probably a little more aged, a little bit more wise. I actually can see Jamie Lee Curtis playing the doctor person, and she looks like she could play the role pretty good. And I don't even like she has gray hair or whatever, and that doesn't really matter that much to me. I definitely, I don't really care about the doctor, frankly. Now, when it comes to like Firehawk, again, like in like the least non-judgmental way. What's in Kate Blanchett? Let's take a look here. Hopefully my search history isn't anything too bad. How old actually is she? Let's see if I can figure her name. I know she was in that Thor movie. On images. Oh, she's only like 54 years old. Wow, okay. I think honestly, I think that wig just makes her look kind of like. I think that the wig on her, it just makes her look terrible, to be honest. Because like I don't really think she's like ugly or anything, right? I mean, I actually think in a lot of ways she's pretty good looking. But yeah, like she's not like mad looking or anything, right? I mean, she's a little bit more older or reserved, but she's not a bad looking character. Right? She's not bad looking or anything, right? That wig, I think that red wig makes her just look awful, to be honest, though. And I mean, if you're just being real, and she's just not, doesn't seem like she's playing the character like to her age. Like I feel like Jamie Lee Curtis playing like the Doctor. I think that's completely fine. You got like a picture here. I'm no authority on attractive people or anything either, right? But I just think that she just wasn't casted very good for that role, and she could easily have been in the movie, right? And again, they could have just made her a different character, or they could have had her be like some side NPC or like the villain or something that interacted with. I just don't think she just wasn't a very good casting role. It's just like when you had the Star Wars movie, you had you had Star Wars Solo, you had like Han Solo. That character, that guy who played Han Solo, he just didn't fit the role very good. And to be honest with somebody, I have nothing against that guy. I have nothing against any of these people, right? They're just people. Now maybe I do have something against them. Like maybe they are awful human beings or something. And maybe I have something against them, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. So it just doesn't seem like she's a great character for a main character in the story, to be honest. Now you have I don't know what's the guy's face. What's his name? He got I can't think of his name. I'm not sure if it shows it on here or not. Kevin Hart. I mean, to be honest, it's just a black man playing as like a black soldier. Personally, I mean, he's a really cool, just like stoic soldier. I mean, I don't really see that being any problem. The person who plays is Tiny Tina. I mean, I don't really care one way or the other about that. You got Jack Black playing as Claptrap. I mean, that's probably a really great choice. I mean, I really like Jack Black, and I mean, he can do a lot of those kind of roles probably pretty good. I just feel like this movie was not casted very good, and that's a really big net L, because this movie could be really good, right? And there's a whole bunch of like really young, beautiful women who could have played the role of Firehawk. Firehawk is regarded as honestly speaking, she's really, really hot. So there's no reason that Firehawk couldn't have been played by like a 25-year-old actress or something. You got hundreds of actresses I mean, even I personally don't think it's bad for like the Doctor or anything. I mean, Kevin Hart, I mean, it's kind of weird for a role for him. I mean, you got tons of people who could have also done that role, but I mean, he doesn't he's just a soldier. He's just like a stoic soldier, so I don't who really cares about that? Just the Firehawk, it just doesn't seem like it just doesn't fit the it just doesn't fit the role very good. Okay, so then there's the other part to this, right? Like a little bit of a spin. What I have heard though, and I mean, this is pretty freaking subjective at the end of the day, right? But I think I've heard some kind of rumors or some reports or whatever. I'm sure there's some stuff out there that apparently, I think her what's her name, Kate Blanchett, I believe she has played the video games, or at least one of these, like maybe her or the other person. I think she has played the Borderlands games, and she has she knows the stories, she knows the characters. I think she loves the series and the franchise. Now, I would use the same argument though with Henry Cavill, right? You don't want to be a moral hypocrite. Henry Cavill, who, like, I know, in some sense, I have like some like, you know, like I'm a straight man, right? You know, he's kind of like, I have like this almost like sometimes you have like a man crush on some character, right? You have like a Superman or like The Witcher or something, right? I mean, like, I really like Henry Cavill. Like, there's a handful of actors out there who I just like really like a lot, and it's extremely subjective, and it's borderline unfair. But I just really like a character a lot. You know, it's like you have some like straight man, like, you know, like guy crush on some character, or like, you know, like back when in like no, I wasn't even alive then. I'm in my early 30s, but you have like Harrison Ford for like Han Solo or something, right? Or you have some like, you know, major mega character. It's like, yeah, I mean, most people, especially if like you're a nerd or something, probably really like those characters, and it's extremely unfair, but it's just the way it is. So, like, you know, I can understand like when Henry Cavill played as Geralt of Rivia. You know, like, I understand that, right? And I view that as, you know, like a net W, because Henry Cavill, he played The Witcher 3. I think he probably played the other games, or I think he read the books, and he also showed a lot of respect for The Witcher. Anyway, oh yeah, by the way, I'm also just, I mean, I can't speak. I also am just about done with my Witcher 3 walkthrough. I just have to get about I just have to do some add some commentary to my episodes 6 and 7, and then I have to just like render them, upload them. So I'm about to have my Witcher walkthrough done. I'm put some kind of like a Christian spin on it. I'm just about done with it. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like, you know, like a masterwork piece or anything, but I went through the main story and I just added some written commentary to it, and it's just like a cool little game, right? So if you're interested in that, that'll probably be out within like next 2 weeks, you know, if in holiness, if God is willing, right? You know, so I'm kind of in the Witcher mood in some sense, but I'm also kind of just about I'm kind of getting out of it too. So that's probably why I'm talking about Henry Cavill, because I've been playing The Witcher. No, but yeah, like he honors the lore, and he shows respect, and I appreciate that, and I think that makes the series like a net W, right? And I don't actually 100% like with full verifiably know this is true, but at least I've heard something about it, and I mean, I'm willing to at least believe it's probably true, that if she who plays Firehawk has played the games, or she likes the characters, or she shows a lot of respect and honor towards the lore, that to me is a huge giant net W for the series. And I mean, if I'm willing to support Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia, and he made the TV show dramatically better. Like, he added like 3 points on like a 10 scale just from being in it. I mean, The Witcher probably would just been like a mid-tier piss poor garbage TV show. I mean, to be honest, and like, only thing that's really good about the TV show, I mean, there's some other stuff to it, is Henry Cavill. I mean, it's a fairly well-made show, but Henry Cavill brings home like the bacon, and that's just the truth. And then they remove Henry Cavill, like, I literally just don't care at all about it. I'm just being real, right? Like, I literally just won't care. And I mean, you would be hard pressed to make me care. You'd have to just scrap the main character and have to just do something else. I mean, I haven't even watched season 3. I think I watched the first 2 seasons of it. I know I watched at least season 1. I mean, again, like, there's some grayness to it. It was actually pretty good, I felt. You know, if Kate, I can't even speak right. What's her name? Kate Blanchett. If she's the same way as Henry Cavill, honestly speaking, I would definitely be interested in watching this movie, just because if she's somebody who is an expert on this stuff, or she cares a lot about it, or maybe a handful of these other people in it, I would be willing to, I think, go out and support this movie, and be willing to give it, like, you know what, like, no, a lot. I'd be willing to give it a pretty good chance if she's somebody who shows honor and respect towards the lore. Again, you don't have to agree with everything in it, but, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? And if she's somebody who shows respect, I think I would be willing, you know, to try to stand by this movie and to give it a pretty good chance. and to be fair and to be objective, regardless of again, it's like, the idea of regardless of even reasoning is because she shows respect. And if you respect something, I'd be willing to stand by someone who respects something. Because I think that's a really strong net W. It's the same with Henry Cavill. Like, he shows respect towards the content. Therefore, I would stand by him in the franchise, even if I disagree with certain things in it, or even if there's a lot of problems and controversies and drama. I would I feel like I would stand by the franchise. And if this is true, now I don't actually know if this is true. She might maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I just got some false information. But I've always heard this is possible, and it could be, right? And if that's true, then I'd be willing to show if she honors the franchise and she's put a lot of effort in, and that's why she has the role, and that's why she wanted the role. The same thing as Henry Cavill, that I should give her the same treatment to not be a moral hypocrite. And if that's true, I would be, I think we should support this movie. If there's actual verifiable evidence that she loves the Borderlands franchise and she shows honor towards it and she wants to make this as good as possible, and she purposely wanted this role because she loves Borderlands, and for whatever reason she played the video games or she knows a lot about it or cares about it, and that's why she wanted the role, I think we should give her the same treatment that Henry Cavill gets. Okay, now I don't know if this is fully true. If that's true, I think we should. I think that the nerd community or whatever, I'm probably like a super nerd or whatever, but we should give her the same treatment that we would give to Henry Cavill, and we should be willing to support this, and we're willing to give her a chance. And I think that that's a huge W, if that's true. And I don't really care what she looks like at this end of the day. She's also a fairly attractive looking female. And she's a little bit older in her age, but one day we're all gonna either we're all gonna get old or we're gonna die. That's just the reality of life. She's a fairly attractive looking female. I don't really have anything against her personally that I can think of. I'm sure she said some stupid, unhinged crap, or like everybody else does. But if that's true, I think we should support her, right? So it's the idea of honor and respect, especially towards the lore and the source material. And you got people like Nerdrotic who always says stuff like that. He supports the idea of like the Lord of the Rings and like Tolkien. And you got a whole bunch of other people who there's a lot. We should honor the lore. And if that's true, and then she believes in honoring the lore, then we should stand by people who deserve it. There is a level of truth. We only have a finite amount of time to be alive, but we should stand by people who stand by good principles. I'm not saying we can't stand by anyone for any reason, but it's even better when it's deserved. There is a level of merit. As a Christian, right? And I guess here's a little bit of a Christian message too, but we should show a level of grace, and we should always try to love everybody, whether they deserve it or they don't deserve it. But I also think it's especially good to do something good, to do good and stand by somebody, especially when they deserve it. And if that's true, we should. I think that we should go out of our way to, support people who deserve it. And that's like a strong, positive justice, right? Justice can be when people do bad things, they deserve bad things. But when people do good things, they deserve good things too. So, stand by people who deserve it and try to find people who show respect and honor and love, and they go out of their way, to make a phenomenal franchise or game or movie or series, presuming it's not just openly satanic or something, right? But if it's fairly neutral or there's some good qualities to it, we should stand by them, right? Especially if they're honoring the material and they go out of their way to do a great job. Give them their respect and honor. That's due to them. And and there's a biblical truth to that too. He talks about from the New Testament. It talks about different leaders of different companies or organizations or the government. Because it's almost word for word, right? It talks about give honor to people who deserve their honor, or the opposite. I could probably look this up here. But it's in the New Testament. It's show give commends to people who deserve to give their commends, and give their dishonor to people who deserve their dishonor. And I mean, we should show respect. All right. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I mean, I appreciate, our guests are listening or whatever I make this. I know my channel is kind of small and it always has its problems, but I appreciate the people who watch and listen. Thanks for coming out here. I want to have a little humility, right? Like a humble bow. Thank you for your time. I don't want to like piss on my audience. I know a lot of companies do. I want to show a level of respect and appreciation. Thank you. All right. God bless.